Well, hello from an empty Highmark Stadium. The Buffalo Bills have very likely played their final game inside this building. They beat the Jets, but today was not really about the football game. It was about sending this building off in style and thanking a place that is filled with so many memories and so many friendships that have been made here over 53 years when the Bills have been playing their home games in Orchard Park. If you are watching this, hello everyone. I am Matt Bove, the sports director here at Channel 7, a lifelong Western New Yorker, somebody who went to this stadium for years growing up and has been so fortunate to be able to cover this team over the course of my career. And this is a very full circle, bittersweet day for myself and for so many other Western New Yorkers. And over the course of the next little bit, we're going to talk about some of the things we saw on the field. We're going to talk about what it was like being in here with the fans, what the fans were like and what they were saying outside of the stadium, and just kind of all of the raw emotion that comes with a day like this. I feel like this is going to be an emotional little conversation, but I think that's good. I think we need to, really like address these emotions and feel them now. I think that's a very healthy thing to do. So let's join us and have these conversations, and hopefully we can have some smiles along the way. So, like I said, I am here, but we have team coverage really all over this final game here inside Highmark Stadium. And one of those people who was here today, but outside of the stadium, was my colleague, Taylor Epps. So we are going to bring Taylor into the conversation. Hello, Taylor. How are you? Thank you for joining
Hi.
us.
I'm happy but sad. I mean, like everyone, it's that
Yeah.
bittersweet moment. It feels cliche to say, but you really start to feel the emotion when I was here when people were going in. So as soon as the gates open, like 3 o'clock ish, was watching people go in. Everybody had their signs, they're ready to go, their cardboard boxes to sit on. And it's like, all right, cool. We're excited for the game. This is normal. Everyone's like pouring their drinks out before they hand the tickets over. But then coming out of the stadium, normally everyone's mad dashing to get to their cars to beat the traffic and get out of here. People were so slowly exiting and
Yeah.
savoring the moments and trying to just take that last picture or that last video and those final moments and like the fireworks that were going off. It was really something special to watch people experience those in real time. And I got to talk to a lot of families because this is really a family full circle thing for a lot of people. Got to talk to a father and son who the son took over his grandfather's seat when he passed. So then it's a kind of the seats are like a family heirloom that have been passed on through generations. And they had to say goodbye to the people who they've been sitting behind for 30 years. I mean, like they're like neighbors almost because this place is like a second home. So you're going to have those conversations and you're realizing like, oh man, this is the last time. Some people are like, it's just a stadium. We're moving across the street, but it's so much more than that. So we got to share some of those moments and I'll show you what some people had to say here as they were leaving.
I would do anything to be in this moment.
It's really emotional for both of us to be leaving the stadium right now. My grandfather used to sit here. Thing to deal with right now.
Continue on to the next stadium.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Very sad, but proud of them. So proud. We've been here since 1974.
Knowing that we're not going back at the end, nobody wanted to leave, and you could feel it.
You know, he usually wants to beat the traffic, and I said, I don't care. We'll be here past the last whistle of the game. It's the last time we'll probably be in this stadium, so let's just take in every moment, you know?
Was it different in there today?
Oh yeah, you could tell the emotion. We were sitting with the same people in a row in front of us for over 30 years, and saying goodbye to them was kind of tough.
You know, this is like fandemonium and pandemonium, right? And this is what the Bills is. It's about family. It's not about winning. It's about having experiences every Sunday with those that you love. Win or lose, we're together supporting the Bills in Buffalo.
Just looking at that high mark, the Bills right there, you know. I'm gonna miss it. It's the only way I would want Highmark to go. Snowy game, cold weather, break it.
You gotta love it.
Gosh, that just pulls at your heartstrings. Like watching people get emotional talking about it. And that one gentleman who was like, I forgot exactly what he said. Sorry. There are so many emotions in my head right now that I'm just sitting there thinking.
And he was like,
just,
we'll turn the page next year. We'll get him at the new stadium.
like, I was thinking about, honestly, I kind of got lost there with my own emotions for a second, because when I heard that guy say that normally, I think he said his dad wants to beat the traffic, but he made him stay until the end, I immediately back to my dad in this building over the course of the years, telling me that he wanted to leave and beat the traffic. Now, the difference was my dad wanted to leave and beat the traffic because this team stunk and they were losing by like 21 points and they were 4-10 at the games that we were at. But that's what I immediately thought to. But I think that like that is something that a lot of people felt today is they think about the time that they spent in this building with family and friends, and that is why this is so significant. It's never really been about the building itself. Like this is just a stadium. It's just concrete and steel and whatever it is. Not a construction guy. Don't even really know how they build stadiums, but it's not just the brick and mortar. It's all of the stuff and all of the memories and all of the people that we have spent time with in here. Which
when you
is,
remember like crying with people, you remember like the low lows and having just your heart break inside this building and, you know, hugging people and just being upset and really just kind of getting all your emotions out. But then you remember those highs of like the comeback game. And you remember beating the Chiefs and you remember Josh just absolutely making heroic moves and just the elation. It's the highs and lows of those memories and having gone through them. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like life. It's the roller coaster of life. You have the highs and lows. And then when you reflect back on parts of your life and how many parts of your life and memories happened in here, it's like, whoa, I think it's the surrealness of never being able to go back in there. And it's like, all right, you know, it's just a building, it's just concrete, but like, we'll never have that experience again. Like my last time was a couple weeks ago. I went to the game against the Bucks and I was like, all right, this is going to be it. Like, this is going to be my last one. And that's so strange to me.
You're not from here, but Buffalo has become your adopted home for the last several years. I think you very quickly picked up what the Bills mean to this community.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a way that you can put that into words? You know, as somebody who has now become an adopted Buffalonian and you've kind of seen this over the course of the years, like how would you explain it to somebody?
I would say it's a non-negotiable. It's not something that you like, oh, you know, I'm not really a football fan. It is in everyone's veins. You are born with it. You die with it. It is something that you experience living here. It's not a choice. You don't choose to be a Bills fan. Being a Bills fan happens to you in the best way. It's not something that you can just be like, you know, I'm passive about it. It's whatever. You have to buy in because there's no other option here. And it's the best thing to get to experience, to be a part of, because I would love to see someone try to just like dislike the Bills or to move here or be part of this experience and just be like, I don't care. You can't not care. It is in the air in all of Western New York. When you're driving through, or I'm on the 33 after a victory Monday, you can feel it. After a Sunday that didn't go so well, you can feel it. It is like completely and utterly just within the fan base and within this community. And it bonds people. I was talking to a family as they were going in, and they were like, I've never felt more connected to my community. It doesn't matter like race, creed, color, religion. When you are wearing red, white, and blue and you're walking into Highmark Stadium, we're all the same. And that's really what it is.
What will you remember about today? You know, in a couple of years, or if you're ever thinking back, what will be the thing that stands out to you?
I think talking to people walking out. Walking in, it was like, oh, let's see if I can get a couple people because everybody's rushing and trying to get in. I mean, like, this is the easiest assignment you could ever have, is to try to capture emotion when it's so evidently right in front of you. And I think that father and son duo that was talking to me, because they were taking videos as they were walking around. And I was like, no, excuse me. Like, would you talk to me? And they just like couldn't even get it out. Them right there. They were just not even able to fully articulate. They were like, I don't know what to say. And I was like, that's okay. And no one knows what to say. No one knows how to experience this. So just seeing the signs and watching everyone just slowly walk out of this place is going to be something that I hang on to forever. And honestly, kind of the quiet moments too. Like now, just like looking at it, it's like, it's so surreal. And then also looking at the monstrosity over there, it looks incredible. It's the quiet, it's the cries, it's everything in between. I'm going to remember this for a long time.
All right, Taylor, thank you for joining us. I loved everything that you had to say, but don't go anywhere because I'll probably bring you back in a little bit, because I definitely think there are more things to talk about. When I asked you what the thing you're going to remember is, and you said the fans, I think I have this like memory now burned into my mind forever. I want to try and show the video we have of Tre White, if possible. I'm going to give you a little bit of background context here. So Tre White was drafted by this Buffalo Bills team in 2017. He was part of the team that broke the drought. He had been here and was a fan favorite for years. A year ago, the Bills moved on from Tre White after his second season-ending surgery. After 1 year away, he ultimately came back to Buffalo. And after the game, actually the team wanted the players to try and get off the field relatively quick as far as a safety reason is concerned. I think they were a little bit concerned that fans were going to try and run out onto the field. So they were kind of all directed like, hey, don't spend too much time down on the field. I think Tre White just didn't listen to that and wanted to try and soak it all in. Now, I did not know exactly what the post game was going to look like, but they started to play a montage of Bills clips, and that was set to Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, who, of course, are from Western New York. And if there's things that people in Buffalo love, it's supporting other things and people from Buffalo. So Tre White stopped in his tracks and kind of took it all in. I want to play that clip for you now. This was just a couple hours ago. This already has like 1 million views on social media. That's when I was emotional. I've been proud of myself today for trying to kind of hold it all in and not get emotional, but just kind of taking that in and hearing that song. Fun fact, I was at a Bills backers bar in 2017 when the Bills playoff drought ended. I was there for work covering the Winter Classic because the Sabres were playing against the New York Rangers. And when the Bills playoff drought ended, I was in this Bills backers bar just surrounded by people. And right when the Bengals beat the Ravens to send the Bills to the playoffs, Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls started playing, and I just remember people screaming the lyrics to that song and sobbing because the playoff drought was over. And I think in this moment, I kind of flashed back to it a little bit. So I can see in the chat here that my colleague Michael Schwartz is ready to roll. Michael Schwartz was also here at this game, down on the field with myself and my colleague Dom Tibbetts. I don't know where on the field he is, but he is somewhere else on this field. Oh, I can see you over there. Hi, Michael. We're like the only people in the stadium right now. So, Michael, kind of walk me through who you talked to, what your takeaways were, your observations were, and what stands out about this game. I can't hear you, Michael.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I got you, Mike.
I was getting emotional just watching that with Tre. And you know what, Matt, just being here right now, it's finally hitting me. Like, there may not be another game here. There very most likely will not be another game here. And I think of all the Bills fans that I've met over the years, and this place is just really magical. There's a season ticket holder who sits right over there. She has been coming here for 40 plus years. And Alec Anderson at the end of the game was one of the last players out, and he to leave, and he jumped up with her and all the fans. It just took it all in. I put that video out, and I went around the stadium, and I just did a lap, and I just got video that I will post on our socials in a little bit. And everyone was just, once they saw the camera, they were cheering and looking at me. And just going, and then I walked in the middle of the field, and it felt like one of those moments. I'm sure you felt like this when you've covered games, that it feels kind of like AI, and you just can't believe like there's 70,000 people surrounding you and just screaming and loving it, and there's tears and there's cheers. And look, covering both news and sports, I've seen the lowest of the lows in in Buffalo the past 4 years, and when you can see Buffalo cheering together, that's there's nothing better. That gets me choked up, and no matter what it is, whether it's disagreements in this world, that's easy to do right now. It's this team more than ever that gets them together. So,
You have been somebody who has helped sports for years, and we are so grateful to have you be part of this team. And like Taylor, you're an adopted Western New Yorker. You are not from here, but you have really done a nice job of making Buffalo home and embracing this community. My question to you is the same question I asked Taylor. Why do you think this means so much to so many people, and why is this special from your perspective?
well, I'll tell you why it's special. And I was actually thinking of how I would answer that question when you did ask Taylor. Look, I'm from Long Island, and you have the Yankees, you have the Mets, you have the Jets, you have the Giants, you have the Islanders, you have the Rangers, you have Ducks, you have the minor leagues, you have the Knicks, you have the Nets nearby. I mean, when there are so many options, you're almost spoiled in a way, right? With who you root for and all the teams. This is such a culture. You have this professionally, obviously you have the Bandits, but you have the Sabres and the Bills, and the Bills are such a hot team. I think it is unbelievable that the Bills have never won a Super Bowl. Yet these fans are loyal. A fan isn't someone who follows the team until they win. A fan is a person that's going to be loyal through and through. And I think that's what truly separates Bills Mafia. There's Josh. He got off the field pretty quick again from what you're saying about safety concern. But it is just unbelievable to see these Bills fans. It's been the true pleasure and honor of my life to be able to cover these fans, to cover the games. I've been so grateful. You get to know the fans, you get to know the players, you get to know their families, you get to know the staff. And my thing is like, how could you not want the best for these people in any situation? Again, being downstate, we're spoiled in a way, right? The Bills are. You look at yesterday when they came to shovel, right? I tweeted it out that there could be a flake on the ground. People just wanted to spend time in this stadium. Small towns are closer than ever. Look, we have a lot of great fans, Yankee fans and whatnot, but nothing will beat a culture like this when you have people of all ages coming to a stadium, rooting this team on, wanting to be here, wanting to just be in the stadium when it's freezing cold. There's nothing that I never doubt Bill's Mafia of their loyalty. There's nothing that I ever doubt. And I met three generations today in the parking lot. I was just talking to people today. It was great. A grandfather from Binghamton. He was here at the first game against the Jets. He brought his son, and then he also brought his grandson. The grandson was wearing the other grandfather's jacket that he wore to the game when he first took the grandson. The grandfather since passed away. And I asked also a lot of people, like, who are you thinking of today? And it's people
I
that
love that question. I love that question. That's great.
and that's a post I will put on Instagram. One person told me Ralph Wilson, and she got really choked up about it. Another person said their father. Another person said, similar to what you were saying, their brother, their uncle. This stadium is not about the building. It's one of the last living connections that they have to the people of their past.
Yeah.
And that's what you think about. I mean, you don't. Here's before I end it. Bills fans don't need shiny whistles or the best beer or a dome over here. They want football because they appreciate the best values, and that's just being a fan and being there for their fans. And they deserve what they've gone through. They deserve it. That's why they're so great, because they root so hard. So yeah.
You saying that, does my mic sound weird?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. For some reason, I was getting crazy reverb in my ears. You saying that and who you were thinking of, I think is so beautiful and perfect. Hi, Kimberly from Cape Coral, or Coral, Cape Coral, Coral. I don't even know. Is that near Jacksonville? I don't know, but I'll be there next weekend, I guess.
It's
So
warm.
I guess There you go. I'm going to close out with this. Michael, thank you.
Yeah.
So Michael asking people who they were thinking of, I'll share with you who I am thinking of, and then we're going to get ready to go, be on the news at 11 o'clock. So we hope you join us there. I was able to, I've been very fortunate to be able to do this job. And today I have thought about two people almost exclusively. I think the reason that I do this job and the reason that I love sports so much is because I was raised by somebody who adored this team so much. That would be my father. My father was the one who brought me to my first game. He was the one who taught me how to love football. He was the one that was superstitious during Bills games and would iron his clothes in front of the TV to try and get his laundry done for the week because he had so much nervous energy. And if the team was winning, my mom would stay in the living room. And if the team was losing, my mom would know to leave the room. Like, that is the type of fan we were talking about with my dad. And he passed away a couple of years ago. So I have been thinking about being at the stadium with him and knowing that, like, this is kind of the only building where we were able to watch football together in, and knowing how many memories he had here as a Bills season ticket holder and just how much I cherish those days when I was a little kid going to Bills games with him and how special it was to me. So I think about that. And then I think about my daughter. Now, my daughter is just under 3 years old. She's too little to come to a Bills game. We weren't going to bring her into this environment, but because, I've been able to cover this team, I was able to bring her to the stadium. So this is a little janky, so I apologize, but this is a picture of my daughter and I inside the stadium in the press box from a little bit ago, and I was able to bring her here. And I just wanted to be able to have a picture of her inside the stadium, so years down the road, I can say, well, you were at that stadium. I know you didn't go to a game there, but you were there and you don't remember it, but we have pictures. And these are going to be something that we cherish for the rest of our lives. Because, like Taylor mentioned with the fans she talked to, this team is so important to different generations of families. And it has been something that has brought so many people together. And I am no different in that instance. So when Michael was asking people who they are thinking of, I'm sure they had incredibly eloquent and powerful answers that they shared with him, and they were vulnerable, and that is so commendable. I today am thinking of two people. I'm thinking of my dad and I'm thinking of my daughter, and I'm thinking of how many incredible moments I have had inside the stadium, and I'm dreading walking out whenever that is. In like an hour or two, whenever we leave, that's when I think I'm going to get emotional, is because I don't exactly know how I'm going to feel walking out the door for one last time. So Scott, I can't read. Matt, you and Sal have done an amazing job this week. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Scott says we'll see you next week. There are going to be an insane amount of Bills fans at this playoff game in Jacksonville because they always seem to flock to Jacksonville. So I would expect we see that again. But thank you for the kind words, Scott. I appreciate it. Thank you to all of you who are watching right now. There are thousands of you who are watching. We really appreciate this. Let's see. I don't think he does. I want to close out with this thing. No, Tony, I do not believe. Sorry, we're taking you behind the scenes here. I think Dom is working at editing some stuff, so I do not believe he is going to join us. But it was a magical day inside this building. How fitting that they were able to win and that it really did become a celebration, especially in the second half. Those moments after the game ended when everybody was just here taking it all in, the fireworks were going off. That was a pretty powerful and unbelievable moment. So that's going to be something that I cherish for a long, long time. I'm incredibly grateful to play a small part in what today was, whether you were here, whether you were watching on TV, whether you were somebody who hasn't been to the stadium in your life, whether you've been a season ticket holder for 53 years, whatever it is. This stadium and this team means so much to so many people. And I think this day kind of perfectly encapsulated this. It's very bittersweet. We know we're getting ready to go across the street into this absolutely gorgeous brand new stadium that is going to be so, so cool for people to experience. But there was something magical about this building that I think we just want to latch on to for a little bit longer. And I feel like that is something that's going to be really, really hard to let go. Kimberly, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. JT, yes, this is the Bills Stadium. And Steve, you've got this, buddy. Hey, I'm doing good right now. I have no idea how I'm going to do in like an hour and a half, but I'm trying to do my best. To those of you watching, thank you so much. To those of you who were here, I hope you cherish this day for a long, long time. To those of you who watched on TV, just know it was magical. And if you ever stepped foot in this building, you understand why it was magical. Thank you guys for watching this random little web chat that we did. We will have much more about the stadium and hear from fans and players and from Sean McDermott and from so many different people coming up on 7 News at 11 o'clock. We will see you then. Thank you all. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and I'll see you across the street at the new Highmark Stadium.